Started.
Zombie on the track.
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team fucking here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team here. Nigga, started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team here. Nigga, started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team fucking here.
Hey, welcome. This is Late in the Shot Clock, and I'm your host, Justin Lopez, and this is episode number 5. Wow, number 5 already. That's crazy. Welcome. This is going to be a great show. We got a lot to talk about. We got Team USA, and we got Teams of the Week, of course. Recently, guys, we have opened up for Late in the Shot Clock. We have opened up social media outlets everywhere now. We have a Facebook page. We have a Twitter. And then, so you have, this is a better way for me to interact with you guys. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear what you like about the show, what you don't like about the show, all the topics that we have going on. And don't forget to follow us here on Spreaker. Sign in via Facebook, via Twitter, via Google+. And we'll love to hear your interaction, love to hear what you think about all the topics that are going on with the show. So like I said, brand new, coming out right now. Go on Facebook, go on Twitter. Don't lie, I know you're on there right now. Type in Late in the Shot Clock, and you should see it right there. Like I said, we'll give you the latest and greatest what's going on in the show. We got tons to talk about. Team USA, Teams of the Week, like I mentioned. This is going to be a great show. And we're going to dive straight into it. We're going to go right into the brand new stuff that's going on in the NBA recent news. And the most common thing that I definitely want to talk about recently that's going on, Team USA. Team USA been playing their preliminary round this week. We had the games Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and today. Team USA has moved to 4-0, as we expected. And I'm just going to give you a quick breakdown of each game. So Monday, we have Venezuela. We beat them 113-69, moving them to 2-0. It was pretty easy. It was tied in the first quarter, but nothing really transpired in that game. They went on a 24-4 run in the second quarter to blow Venezuela out of the waters. Impressively enough, though, they shot from the free throw line really well, shooting 32 out of 38 free throws, shooting at 84%, which is very impressive, especially with a team with DeAndre Jordan, DeMarcus Cousins. You know, we automatically assume with DeAndre Jordan, we're not going to be a solid free throw shooting team, but we've actually done pretty well from the free throw line, which we will get into later. So, great job, Team USA, with that. Then Wednesday, we had our first of two tests, mini tests, in my opinion, when we played Australia on Wednesday. 98-88 win. Though it was a 10-point win, it was definitely closer than you think. Jimmy Butler, before the game, expected it to be, their big test, and was he right? Correct. Very correct. In my opinion, and I tweeted about it on Facebook and on Twitter, this was the reality check for Team USA basketball. Team USA basketball realized how tough the physicality of Australia with NBA players Aaron Baines and Andrew Bogut down low for them, and they kind of had their way down there. So Team USA definitely had some issues with foul trouble. DeMarcus Cousins has been in foul trouble a lot, getting 2 quick fouls in the first quarter usually. And DeAndre Jordan, is not good offensively. So there was a lot of makeup for Team USA. But nonetheless, Team USA won 98-88 in that victory. And Carmelo Anthony, during that game, scored team high 31 points, 9 3-pointers, and during that game became Team USA's all-time leading scorer. So you want to, give Carmelo Anthony a round of applause, knock your head off to him, playing the Olympics, time and time after again, and, being a big scorer for Team USA. We have nothing but respect for him. So great job for Carmelo Anthony. Friday, USA plays Serbia. And most likely, a lot of us thought that was going to be, uh, you know, after having that game against Australia, we're going to bounce back. It's going to be a nice blowout game. And that game was pretty close in its own right as well. Serbia kept it very close. And the 94-91 win for Team USA, Kyrie Irving was scoring the ball at ease, had 15 points at the team high. But the real key that I took from that game was Nikola Djokovic from Serbia, who was drafted by Denver, had 25 points. He was 11 for 15 from the field. You guys, he's the real deal. I don't know if you saw that game or what, but this guy has a bright future. Granted, this is, Olympic play. So there's a few different rules, and the physicality is a lot different. But as regards to raw talent, Nikola, he's the real deal. He is definitely the real deal, and he had his way with Team USA. So if we're gonna look to see them possibly in the next couple of rounds, we definitely got to keep our eye on him for Team USA. But nonetheless, they won 94-91. So Team USA kept it moving with that. And then today at 1:15, we played France right before the medal round. We won that game as well. And this game was more so for the shooter Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson finally decided to show up and play Team USA basketball, because up until this point, Team US, Klay Thompson has not been shooting that well. Shooting 15% from the field, 18% from three coming into that game. So it was definitely something that we needed to see out of Klay Thompson, and he sure did put up big numbers, 30 points, and a nice victory over France. So, and it was only a 3-point game, another 3-point victory. So, I mean, these games, they're close. Not something we usually expect. We usually expect blowouts, obviously, with the Dream Team, the Redemption Team, 2012. We just expect these blowouts now because we have the best athletes. We expect that. That's something that we expect. And Team USA is starting to realize, because you wear USA across your chest, you're going to get the best from every single team that's coming out there. This is their Game 7 NBA Finals type of, that's their mentality going into that game. So you're going to get their best. So Team USA has definitely got to come with it every night. And, there's some things that I think Team USA definitely needs to clean up before they begin the medal round and pool play. One, and these, like I said, these are just a couple of my notes that I took from Team USA and something I suggest that they need to do. So, one, the tic-tac foulings. It's got to stop. A lot of foul trouble really quickly early in the game between, like I said, DeMarcus Cousins, Carmelo Anthony. They're especially more particular DeMarcus Cousins. Especially he's the offensive front court. Dominance. We need that on the floor. But he's so quick to get these tic-tac fouls, and he's automatically in foul trouble. That kind of messes up the flow of the game for Team USA. So we need to work on, the tic-tac fouls, limiting those, and, playing better, more moving with the feet. Number two, and this was constant throughout each game, Team USA needs to focus, and I mean focus keenly, strictly. I mean, I don't even know how to, I can't even come up with words to describe it, but Team USA has to be better on the pick and roll defense. There's time and time after again, Team USA was being killed off the pick and roll defense. And I don't know if it's the scheme is not correct. I don't know if people are missing assignments, but we're constantly, in each game, they're constantly getting beat on the pick and roll. And, it's killing them. And it's what's making the games, in my opinion, much closer than what they need to be. They always get to this point where they're up 10, they're up 12, around that range, 12 to 16. And just when we can, stomp on their neck, per se, and blow the lead out, the other team out of nowhere runs a pick and roll or something like that, and they get back into the game. So Team USA definitely needs to work on that pick and roll defense. And like I said, I know they've only had roughly about 6 hard practices together, and it shows. So, over the next day or so, I think Team USA definitely needs to work on, that pick and roll defense, because that pick and roll defense is going to exploit them, especially in pool play. Number 3, late in games, and I've seen this a lot. And towards the end of the game, roughly under the last 3 to 4 minutes, roughly in the last 3 minutes, no ball movement at all. When it's crunch time and they're down and they're only up by 3 or 5 or so, and they need a bucket to stop the run or stop the other team's momentum, they go strictly to ISO ball. Not really good for Team USA. I don't recommend it. A lot of players end up standing around. There's bad spacing. Especially for a Coach K team, we definitely want them to move the ball around and get the ball, get the ball reversing back and forth between on the court, so that way we can shift to defense and be able to, execute Coach K's offense. So, the ISO, I really think it needs to stop, because the ball sticking on one side of the court, they can load up, and, that could pose a lot of issues for us, especially going into pool play, where you're going to get everyone's best. You're going to see players play extensive more minutes. For instance, France, Tony Parker didn't play that much. Going into pool play, you're going to see his minutes boost up. So, different teams are going to be doing things such as that. So you definitely want your players on the floor making the best offensive and defensive adjustments and moves on the court. So definitely got to move the ball and get everyone involved. And finally, past teams that we've had, they've been very dominant from the 3-point line. And this team has not been that dominant from the 3-point line. There's been times where they've either slightly shot better than the opponent or tied the opponent in 3-point shooting percentages. So, Team USA is definitely got to get the ball rolling with that. And like I said, it starts with Clay. Clay has been this is what they expected Clay to do. They expected him to be the shooter of that team, the sniper, and he hasn't really performed. And like I said, 15% from the field, 18% from 3. They definitely needed to get him going, and it's great to see that he got himself going slightly a little bit. I mean, he didn't shoot that great from the field, but it was always good to see the ball go in the basket, getting him to the line, and scoring a total of 30 points, which was huge for Team USA. That's something that they definitely needed moving forward. They're going to get everyone's best, Team USA. Do I feel like they're going to lose in pool play? No, but it's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people expect, because in comparison to the last, Olympic team, the 92 Dream Team, and I mentioned this earlier, when they get to this lead, they get 15, 16 points. They get there, and they can blow it out of proportion right then and there, but they don't. And a lot of teams, I'm trying to figure out why. And I think I came to the assumption or conclusion was that when those big teams, those 2012 teams, when they got out of there, they relied on their defense to pound, to get in, to apply more pressure to on the defensive end, and go in transition and to break those leads wide open. You don't see that with this team. I mean, these high scoring games, 94 points. They've given up. 88, 91, 94 again. These teams Team USA is definitely giving up a lot of points, which is very rare. So I think we need to really lock in on the defensive end. But nonetheless, I really do think that we'll still win gold. I don't expect anything less from Team USA coming from a coach like Coach K running that team. So I wish us nothing but the best. And, Team USA, bring home the gold. That's all we ask for. That's all we ask for. Other news that's going on recently in the NBA. Cleveland Cavalier fans, Your king, I guess you can call him, has finally come home. LeBron James has signed a 3-year deal extension or 3-year deal for $100 million with Cleveland to stay with the Cavaliers. Uh, Fans have been, worried, speculating, just nervous, I guess. And like I told you, if you listen to me, there was nothing really to worry about. LeBron was going to resign. We all expected it, But what does this mean for him financially? This deal makes him the first. He'll be getting paid. Let's just start there. He is getting paid. Let's just start there. He's going to be, for the first time in his career, LeBron James, the first time in his career, he's going to be the highest paid player in the NBA. That's something that, I find very odd. He's been great the last, decade or so, and he's now just becoming the highest NBA player in the NBA. So, that's great for him moving forward. That 2017-18 season, he's going to reach $33 million, which will be topping the highest paid player in a single season in NBA history, topping Michael Jordan's contract deal in 97 to 98. And, which is something that we expect. I didn't expect anything less. But the more impressive thing that I saw, which was similar to last week's show when I talked about Russell Westbrook, that third year of his deal is a player option. Third year player option. Obviously, the cap's going to rise again. That means more money for LeBron James. He surpassed his 10th year in the league, which also means he's going to get 35% of the cap again. So, credit LeBron James and his team for, financially mapping this out perfectly so that way he can get at least one more big deal with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, everyone was expecting him to do a 1 or 2 year deal, to keep doing those 1+1 deals. But this will, cement him in Cleveland history. And so for that, I respect him for that. What this does, and I don't know if you guys saw the video of him on Uninterrupted. If you didn't, go check it out. He mentioned at the end, hey, now that we got this done, hey, why don't we go sign JR? Like, wait, Cleveland Cavaliers, everyone knew that everyone was going to watch this video. Like, it was going to be known. And he said, you know what, let's just cut the middle guy. Let's get right to it. Hey, let's sign J.R. Smith. And the Cavs have reportedly tried to do that. They offered him $10 million. I don't know if J.R. Smith, feels like he deserves more or what. Maybe he does, but he's not really focusing on that. He just got married on Monday. So I think he's kind of focusing on something else right now. So LeBron wants him back. Cleveland, if do what LeBron says. If LeBron says he wants him back, bring him back. J.R. Smith, is he worth $10 million? I think he's worth a little bit more. Hopefully Cleveland doesn't think the price is too steep, and they will be able to, make that happen. Not just for LeBron James, but for the city. During the NBA Finals and throughout the season, you saw Cleveland get behind a guy like J.R. Smith. And when a guy is in the right environment, you see what he can do. He put up the good numbers for them, and he performed very well. So, and that is the horn. So that is, the NBA recent news that's going on in the NBA. Coming up next, we got the teams of the week. We got 2 solid teams. One team from the East, one team from the West. We got Atlanta, the Atlanta Hawks. They had a lot of moves to make this season, and the surprising coming from the West, the surprising Portland Trailblazers. So there's lots to go over still left here late in the shot clock. If you like everything that's going on, or if you don't like what's going on in the show, let me hear. Sign in, like I said, sign in via Facebook, via Twitter. Go like the Facebook page. Look up late in the shot clock. Sign in via Twitter. Go on Twitter. Look us up, Late in the Shot Clock. Follow us. We have a lot to go over. So, like I said, this is Late in the Shot Clock, and I am your host, Justin Lopez.
Welcome to Atlanta Sightseeing. Please take your seat and keep your hands and feet inside the railing at all times.
Ma'am, in this brochure it says this tour is crunk. What does that mean?
Welcome to Atlanta. Hammers and bows, back to the mackin' and the clothes. Adolescents packing a knock on the door. Who is it? I would happen to know the one with the flow. Who did it? It was me, I suppose. Jay-Z in the rolls and Luda's in the cut supreme. Skating down old Nat, tucked and lean. Just spleen. As a matter of fact, I team. No blood on the sneaks, gotta keep it so my kicks is clean. I get the cream. Cops see me flick my beams. I'm allergic to doc prescribed antihistamines. Oink, oink, pig, pig, do away with the pork. Only silverware needs a steak knife and a fork. Did you forget your manners? I'm Bruce with banners. Ludacris, Johnny Rockets when I the cannon. The woolly mammoth, saber tooth. Bite your tongue. I won't stop until I'm rich as them whites will come. I pull up in a black Lotus. Your plaques are bogus, so I stripped them off the wall. Waiting for my cue to corner pocket 8 balls. You racking them up. I'm big paper like pancakes, stacking them up. In fact, I'm slapping them up. Cadillac is a truck. I can't lose with 22s. That's what's up. Running in the back stuff. Better than the aqueduct. Chilling in the wood.
Welcome to Atlanta where the players play and we ride on them things like every day. Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
Welcome to Atlanta where the players play and we ride on them things like every day. Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
Now the party don't start till I walk in and I usually don't leave until the thing is. But in the meantime, in between time, you work your thing, I work mine. I've been putting it down here since 83, since the Lake Show MD rivalry, when Frozen Paradise was the place to be. If you was riding, you was bumping the homie Shy D. I'm the MVP, most ballin'est player. Make my own rules, call me the mayor. Monday night, Gentleman's Club. Tuesday night, I'm up in the Velvet Room getting up. Wednesday, I'm at Strokers on lean. Thursday, jump clean, then I fall up in cream. Friday, Shark Bar Kaya with Frank Ski. Right on the flow is where you can find me. Saturday is off the Heezy for Sheezy. You can find me up in one Tweezy. Sunday is when I get my sleep in, cause on Monday we be at it again. Holla. Welcome to Atlanta where the players play and we ride on them things like every day. Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
Welcome to Atlanta where the players play and we ride on them things like every day. Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
Welcome to Atlanta where the players play and we ride on them things like every day. Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
Welcome to Atlanta where the players play and we ride on them things like every day. Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
And welcome back. This is Late in the Shot Clock, and I'm your host, Justin Lopez. Welcome to Atlanta, I guess, and I feel like that was a solid song to put in, to talk about the Atlanta Hawks. And, Atlanta Hawks had a very decent regular season. And, we're going to dive right into that. But like I said, really quickly, if you want to know more about what's going on the show, sign in via Facebook, via Twitter, and listen to the show. I want to hear your comments on everything that's going on, your dialogue. I want to, tell me what you like, what you don't like about the show. Follow us on Twitter at Late in the Shot Clock. Like us, like the new Facebook page. Search up Late in the Shot Clock. Search it up. Follow the page. We're gonna have polls going on. It's gonna be great. So, welcome to Atlanta. Boom, Atlanta Hawks. Regular season, 48-34, fourth in the East. Not too bad. We didn't expect the 2015 season where they went 60-22, 35 and 6 at home. I didn't expect that. I hope no one else did, because unless you're from Atlanta, maybe you thought you did, because you love Atlanta. I don't know, but this is more of a season that I expected from Atlanta. Paul Millsap was their leader in scoring and rebounding. 13 points, 9 rebounds. Al Horford was a decent force, 13 points, 7 assists, and their point guard Jeff T was good at doing what he does, 14-6, and a team under the head coach of Mike Budenholzer, under that Greg Popovich tree, I expect nothing less. Fourth in the East, very solid team. Ball movement is very key in that offense. There's no superstar, I would say, on that roster. And, the team, under Mike Budenholzer is always ready. That's the Popovich tree method. Always be ready. Players with great character, able to fit into a system and make it work. No one's better, no one's bigger than the system, I would say. That's the kind of mindset that I have I see under a Greg Popovich, system. No one's better than the system. And so, they went into the playoffs. They did what they were supposed to do. They beat Boston in 6 games. I didn't expect anything more. Horford and Paul Millsap were just too much for Boston, especially down low. And, Boston gave him a great fight, but like I said, Paul Millsap putting up career high numbers for himself in that series against Boston. And, Al Horford does what he does. Jeff Teague, Kyle Korver shooting the ball really well. It was a great series. It was a great series to watch for Boston, but more importantly for Atlanta. It was a very, very good series to watch. Very entertaining, but nonetheless, Atlanta moved on, and they moved on to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and that's where their fun ended. Atlanta really didn't stand much of a chance with the Cleveland Cavaliers. They got swept. Very disappointing to see that, especially as I just gave praise to Mike Budenholzer under a Greg Popovich tree. I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna say I'm very disappointed because a system like under a Greg Popovich tree shouldn't be swept, and I usually don't see that. It's not something we expect. So I was very shocked at what happened. So I expect them at least win one game, and unfortunately they didn't. It was kind of like role reversal. Cavs were just too much firepower for Atlanta. With LeBron, Tristan Thompson down there, Kevin Love, they were just too much down there. Too much of a powerhouse for the Atlanta Hawks. So I was very shocked. And we can move forward, looking towards this offseason and what Atlanta did. And Atlanta was very active in this offseason. Now, I use the word active because you notice I used the word active. I didn't say good, didn't say bad. I just said active because they were very up and down. There were a lot of moves that they made. We're going to get right into them. First thing they did was they traded their point guard, Jeff Teague, on a 3-team trade. And, do I think that was a good trade for them? No, I don't. The Pacers, they traded. They got Jeff T. Jazz picked up George Hill. The Hawks got a 12th round draft pick, who ended up being the kid from Baylor, Taurean Prince from Baylor. Was it good for Atlanta? No, I don't think so at all because, they basically gave away a point guard for a 12th pick. Granted, we hope the guy does well for Atlanta, but I don't see him being like a superstar coming for Atlanta. And, you're giving away a solid player like Jeff Teague, I expect you to get something more back, But what it does do is solidifies the point guard position, and this is Dennis Schroeder's team at the 1. They've been a lot of trade rumors between Jeff Teague and Dennis Schroeder, wondering who's going to go. And Dennis Schroeder ended up staying. So obviously we see that Dennis Schroeder is going to be the point guard moving forward. And he's a very good young player, and I'm curious to see how how this team is run under him at the point guard position. But and overall this trade was not good for Atlanta. I think they could have got at least a little bit more for Jeff Teague, and the player that he is and how valuable he was to that team. I think they could have got a lot more. But what they also did in the offseason was, Jay Schroeder moved up to the point guard position. Now we need a backup point guard, and they signed Jared Jack. Was that a good signing? Yeah, good signing. Solid backup. Nothing too crazy, but Jared Jack is a very proven veteran in the league. So I like the pickup of Jared Jack, and that'll be very solid for them in the locker room. Other signings that they did. Kent Bazemore. They signed him on a 4-year, $70 million. Does he deserve that deal? Hell no. No, just hell no. He doesn't deserve that deal at all. In my opinion, he was the top 3 most overpaid free agent signings in this summer, right next to Evan Turner, who we will get into, and Timothy Mozgov for the Lakers. 4 years, $70 million. I don't agree with it at all. I don't know what they were thinking for that. Because my thing is, if you're signing for this X amount of money, this $70 million, there's got to be something that you do extremely well that I can't find another player that can do well. There's got to be something. Can anybody? I mean, I know people are listening, and I want to hear what you guys think about it. But can anybody name one thing that Kent Bazemore does well? Everything he does, in my opinion, just is average. I don't see him doing I don't see him doing anything amazing. He's not like a sharp 3-point shooter. He's not a great slasher. He's not a great rebounder. He's not a great defender. He's just, in my opinion, he's just an average player, and he's in a great system. The system is better than Kent Bazemore. So, I don't see at all why Atlanta signed him to a 4-year, $70 million deal. He's not worth $70 million. He's barely worth $7 million, in my opinion. But that's the point that I'm trying to get you guys to understand. And I feel like Atlanta, what they did with this deal, they just tied up their money to a role player where they could have used it, in the next season. If they knew they weren't going to sign the players that they expected to sign, that's okay. You don't have to spend your money. Just because you have it doesn't mean you have to spend it. I feel like I'm a mother explaining to an 8-year-old kid, just because you have money doesn't mean you have to spend it. You don't have to spend it at all. You can hold on to it. So I just don't like the fact that Atlanta, made this bonehead move and signed Kent Bazemore to a $70 million deal. The system made him to what he is. He's not better than the system. The system made him. So Kent Bazemore, good for you, I guess. You lucked out because they messed up. But that was just not a good signing for them. Other signings that they had a couple more additional signings. One, they signed Paul Millsap on an extension of 3 years, $58 million. Was that a good signing for them? Yeah, it was a good signing. I like them. Obviously, you bring back your leading scorer, your lead rebounder. I gotta give you props for that. I mean, that's just what you're expected to do. A back-to-back all-star appearances for Paul Millsap, and what he did well for in his camp. He did a 3-year deal, like I said, but that's third year. It's a player option, opt out. We went over that with Russell. Went over that with LeBron James. Now Paul Millsap has done the same thing. So, I commend Paul Millsap in his camp for doing that. Obviously, they're looking forward into the future. But for the Atlanta Hawks, they lock him up for 2 years, possibly as trade bait. Who knows? But for 2 years, they can try to build around him and Dennis Schroeder and the rest of this team. So Paul Millsap was a very good signing for Atlanta, and it keeps their focal point in that offense very, very strong, and it keeps them in the hunt in the East. I wouldn't say they're a top 5, a top 3 team in the East, but it definitely keeps them in the hunt. Other signings that they signed, and this is probably the most recent and the most notable signing for Atlanta. They signed their hometown native, Dwight Howard, on a 3-year, $70.5 million deal. Was that a great deal for Atlanta? Nope, I don't think so at all. Because Dwight Howard, I don't know if you saw Dwight Howard the last couple years, but Dwight Howard has been playing very horrible. I don't see Dwight Howard improving anytime soon. So therefore, I don't see him being worth $70 million. And I feel like he only came to Atlanta because he realized that the value of him as a player has gone down tremendously. So I don't see him being this, missing piece to Atlanta. He put up his worst numbers this past season since his rookie season with the Houston Rockets. So clearly, you're not looking at last season's stats and saying that, hey, if he continues to do that, we're going to be great. No, you have to look way further back. I'm talking towards Orlando to see the potential, or whatever potential you think you see still in Dwight Howard. But that's far from the truth. That's far from what's going to happen. So I don't see this being a smart deal for Atlanta at all. I mean, he's also had a lot of knee and back issues. Granted, he played 71 games last season, which was great. But the year before that, he barely played at all because of the back issues that he had. So, I'm really worried that, Atlanta wasted their money on a guy like Dwight Howard because they went after the name more so the player. And, the name Dwight Howard, constantly in the news. You want that. I mean, constantly in the news, constantly talked about in regards to big men. But the player, not that great anymore. And he's 31 years old. He's going to be turning 31 in December. And, you got to wonder if he's towards the end of his career. And I kind of think so. I don't see Dwight Howard having some amazing comeback season. He talked about how he was miserable in Houston, and there was a lot of, creative issues going on back and forth between him, the front office, James Harden, and such. So, he wants this to be kind of a fresh start for him, which is great. But I disagree with his comments saying that he's going to bring a championship. He wants to bring a championship back to Atlanta. We all know that's never going to happen because, one, he's not the player that he used to be, and two, there's this guy in the East named LeBron James, and I kind of don't think that he would be able to pass that team. I just don't see. I don't see Atlanta surpassing Cleveland and becoming the front runners in the East. I don't see that at all. So Atlanta may not a strong. They didn't make a strong deal with Dwight Howard, signing him to that 3 year $70 million. I think they should have got him a lot less. So for my prediction for the Atlanta Hawks, after evaluating their offseason and looking at them moving forward, I see them dropping. I don't see a season like they had this year. They'll make the playoffs under Mike Budenholzer. I see them making a very solid, run in the playoff. I mean, a solid run in the Eastern Conference. But you lose 2 starters, your production is gonna have to go down somewhere. You lose 2 stars in Al Horford and Jeff Teague, your production is gonna go down somewhere. And for that reason, I have them moving down to roughly about the 6th or 7th seed in the Eastern Conference. Frankly, because a lot of other teams are getting better. Everyone's talking about New York. With their signings, they've gotten a lot better. Boston, who took Al Horford away from Atlanta and moving them there, ironically. And ironically enough, the Indiana Pacers, who have Jeff Teague now, I see those teams moving ahead and, because of their other additional signings, I see them moving ahead of uh, the Atlanta Hawks. So, it's kind of ironic, and I think that's going to be pretty funny seeing Boston and Indiana. I think they're going to move ahead of Atlanta because and then frankly enough, they got rid of Al Horford and Jeff Teague. So it makes sense, I guess, in my opinion. And the signings, and I really do think that the signings of Dwight Howard and Kent Bazemore would definitely bite them in the you-know-what. All right, and that is the Eastern Conference. Coming up next, it will be the West's turn, and the West, we will go with the surprising team, which is the Portland Trailblazers. Very interesting team, and something that we're definitely going to have to talk about. But if you want to start off the conversation, hey, let me see you talk about it via Facebook, via Twitter. Sign in, chat with me here. I want to hear your comments about the show. Like I said, we have Facebook now. Search up Facebook, search up Late in the Shot Clock. Follow us on Twitter, Late in the Shot Clock. And we want to hear what you think about everything so far. So, like I said, this is Late in the Shot Clock, my house. This is Justin Lopez.
Open up the champagne, pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up. Hear a knock on the door and the night begins. Cause we've done this before, so you come on in. Make yourself at my home, tell me where you been. Pour yourself something cold, baby, cheers to this. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house, play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. Morning comes and you know that you wanna stay. Close the blinds, let's pretend that the time has changed. Keep our clothes on the floor, open up champagne. Let's continue tonight, come on, celebrate. That's how we do. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house, play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my duck off the crib, the spot, the pad. But my house is your house if you throwing it back. Excuse me if my home draining is sad. Soon as these happy faces land, you can run with the cash. Home run, slam dunk, touchdown pass. Mi casa es tu casa, so it ain't no holding back. Another shot of vodka, you know what's in my glass. It's my house, just relax. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house, play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house. You heard me? We ain't gotta go out, 'cause what? Welcome to my house. It's my house. What? Welcome to my house. It's my house.
And welcome back. This is Late in the Shot Clock, and I am your host, Justin Lopez. And we recently just went over the team in the Eastern Conference, and now we're gonna go west, and we're gonna go with the Portland Trailblazers. Now, the Portland Trailblazers, in my opinion, they shocked a lot of people. And I didn't expect, I don't know about you guys, but I definitely did not expect Portland Trailblazers to play this well this season. And, you know, you got to give credit to, you know, the coaching. You got to give credit to the management team. But obviously you want to start with the star of the team, and you want to start with Damian Lillard. You know, him making that team that strong and, you know, being the leader that he is, bringing them to a 44-38 record, fifth in the West, the tough, treacherous West. I know I keep saying that because the West is that tough, guys. It's really that tough. Now, a lot of people think the season that they had is a fluke. I don't think so. I think, well, let me say this. I'm not gonna say that they're gonna be right back there where they were. They're gonna repeat this performance. But I think that this season, a lot of people realize how well Damian Lillard and a guy like CJ McCollum, how well they are. So, you know, I want to give credit to those guys. Damian Lillard averaged 26.5 points a game with 6 assists. And CJ McCollum averaging 20 points a game. You know, what a great backcourt, a great year they had. You know, it's a very strong young backcourt, something that you can build upon in the future. So, you know, I commend the Portland Trailblazers and, you know, the backcourt that they have. And, you know, they made it to the playoffs. Like I said, the 5th seed. They played the Clippers. They beat the Clippers in the first round. 4-2 series win. Very impressive. But, you know, obviously there is a small cloud over the Portland Trailblazers because, I mean, I feel like though they won, I mean, there was no CP3 who left the series early with an injury. Blake Griffin left the series early in the injury. And, you know, when the Clippers lose their fearless leader like CP3, you knew right then and there it was kind of over. You know, there wasn't a lot of fight left in the Clippers, so, you know, I wasn't surprised after CP3 went down and Blake Griffin went down. It didn't come to me as a surprise that, you know, the Portland Trailblazers ended up winning that series. Because Damian Lillard and the rest of those guys in that camp, they're very good. You know, it's a very strong team, and, you know, they have a solid bench, and they're putting together a very young roster, good enough to be good not only now but years to come. So I commend the Portland Trailblazers on that. Moving forward, they did lose in the next round to the Golden State Warriors in 5 games. Just too much firepower by Golden State. I mean, there was nothing we didn't expect anything more from Golden State. And, you know, they got Steph Curry back, returned back from his injury, and, you know, that was a big boost for Golden State, and they kind of coasted off of that, winning 4-1 in the series. So, you know, great season for the Portland Trailblazers. However, and they have a lot to, you know, be proud of and hold their head up high. So, you know, Portland fans, don't feel down about this season. You know, this was a very good season, and, you know, they did a great job, in my opinion, in off season. They re-signed. Obviously, the first thing they needed to do was they signed C.J. McCollum, 4-year max deal, 4-year, $106 million extension. Was that a good deal? Heck yeah. I mean, he was amazing for Portland, so stabilizes that backcourt, something that we expected for Portland Trailblazers to do. They re-signed Allen Crabbe, the player coming off the bench, on a 4-year, $75 million deal. Was this a good deal for Portland? I've been back and forth about it, but I'm going to give it to him. Now, is he worth $75 million worth? Maybe not, but they had to, because they had to match that deal to beat out the New Jersey Nets. And when you have a guy like Allen Crabbe, he was a very solid component for the Portland Trailblazers, you definitely don't want to break the band up. You want to definitely bring them together and keep it going. So, do I like the number? No, but do I like the player, especially him coming back to that kind of team? Yes. They also signed Myers Leonard. Sorry, words were tough right there. Myers Leonard on a 4-year, $41 million deal. Was he worth it? Was he worth that deal? Yes, he was. Arguably Portland's best big man before his injury. So it was very good for them to sign him back very quickly. And he still has a lot of potential. As we talk about big men, big men tend to have take a little bit longer time to develop in this league. So, you have to be patient with the big men, a la Hassan Whiteside in Miami. He wasn't great coming out. There was a lot of issues that he had. And, for Miles Leonard, he wasn't, he just grew to 7 foot, roughly about, several years ago. So he's still I feel like if you watched him play, he's still kind of like learning that position and learning more about himself, and the height being 7'1", he wasn't 7'1" all his life, this just recently happened to him. So he's adjusting his game, and I think over time, if you look at the potential of Mr. Leonard, I don't see why you should cut your ties yet. Not just yet. It's only been a couple years. I think you still have some more room to work at him and have him progress into a big man. So don't cut your ties yet, Portland. They did a great job signing him on a 4-year, $41 million deal. At a great price, too, might I add. Portland also signed Evan Turner on a 4-year, $70 million deal. Was that a good deal? Heck no. That deal was also, like I said, that was on my top 3 worst signings of the summer, and rightfully so. Evan Turner is not worth $70 million under no team, might I add. Coming from Boston, everyone saw Boston, they played so well this season, but I don't think he's worth $70 million. The guy's a ball-dominant player, and with a team like Portland, who has a solid backcourt, where does he fit in? I mean, maybe coming off the bench, but they have a nice point guard in Shabazz Napier who can distribute the ball. So, I mean, you don't really need a guy like Evan Turner who's a ball-dominant type of player. I don't see him being very good with Portland. I think he'll have his moments, but I don't see him being like a true component that will get them into, that brings them into the next stratosphere of the teams, of the dominant teams in the NBA. I don't see him being that missing component because he's really not that good at spacing, guys. I mean, granted, he averaged 10 points. He had 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists a game last season, but he shot 24% from the three. Not very strong numbers, in my opinion, especially of a guy that's worth, and you're in their minds, of a $70 million. I don't see that being $70 million type numbers. So, is he another creator? Yes. But another creator, is he worth $70 million of creations on the offensive end? Probably not. So, I don't like the signing of Evan Turner. I think they could have got him at a better deal. Or they could have gotten someone else. They didn't need to sign Evan Turner. They were doing just great without him. So, I don't think so. And then finally, they also signed Festus Ezeli on the 2-year, $16 million deal. Is he worth that deal for people? Yes, he was. A very solid rim protector for Golden State. He'll be a solid rim protector for Portland Trailblazers. As long as he stays healthy, he missed a lot of games the last couple seasons due to knee issues. But he's a very mobile big man. He can rim run. For people that don't know what rim run is, that's simply running from one rim to the other. At max speed, him being able to rim run back and forth would definitely be very crucial in the team, especially a team that constantly likes to go up and down, like the Portland Trailblazers. And they got him on a good price, like I said, 2 years, 2nd-year team option. So if they feel like, those injuries aren't, they keep coming back up, they keep creeping back into his game, they can cut their losses with it. So great deal by Portland Trailblazers on a 2-year, $16 million deal for Festus Ezeli. Great deal. Looking forward to next season, can they repeat this performance? I I was back and forth about it. They can't. I don't see Portland repeating this performance as well as they did. Now, do I think they're gonna fall back to like 8th seed? No, because that backcourt is very strong. I don't see them falling back too far, but they'll slide back to the 6th spot. I mean, I feel like they used they were able to sneak up on a lot of teams this season, and coming into this season, they won't be able to. I don't see them sneaking up on a lot of teams. They know what a lot of teams are gonna know now what to expect from a Portland Trailblazer type of team, that strong backcourt, and then with C.J. McCollum and Damian Lillard, that strong backcourt, I don't see them sneaking up on a lot of teams. And granted, I feel like they got slightly lucky, but there's with CP3 and Griffin going on in the playoffs. Otherwise, I didn't see them winning the first round. I saw them losing in the first round to the Clippers, but I commend them on a great season. But I see them going to a 6th spot in the Western Conference, 6th or 7th spot, most likely 6th though in the Western Conference. And that is the Horn. We're almost done, people. Wrapping it up the show. If you like the show, if you didn't like the show, I want to hear it. Like I said, sign in via Facebook, via Twitter here. Follow us. I want to hear your thoughts about the show. Like I said, we just created a Facebook page. Search up Late in the Shot Clock. Follow the Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter at Late in the Shot Clock. And I want to hear your thoughts about everything that's going on. So we got one last segment up. This is At the Buzzer coming up. And this is Late in the Shot Clock. And I am your host, Justin Lopez.
Beautiful girls all over the world. I could be chasing, but my time would be wasted. They got nothing on you, baby. Nothing on you, baby. They might say hi, and I might say hey, but you shouldn't worry about what they say, 'cause they got nothing on you.
Nothing on you, babe. Nothing on you. I know you feel where I'm coming from, regardless of the things in my past that I've done. Most of it really was for the hell of the fun. On a carousel, so around I spun. With no direction, just trying to get some. Trying to chase skirts, living in the summer sun. And so I lost more than I had ever won. And honestly, I ended up with none. There's so much nonsense is on my conscience. I'm thinking maybe I should get it out. And I don't want to sound redundant, but I was wondering if there was something that you want to know. But never mind that, we should let it go. 'Cause we don't want to be a TV episode. And all the bad thoughts, just let them go. Go.
Beautiful girls all over the world. I could be chasing, but my time would be wasted. They got nothing on you.
Nothing on you, babe. Nothing on you.
Nothing on you.
Nothing on you, babe. Nothing on you.
They might say hi, and I might say hey, but you shouldn't worry about what they say, 'cause they got nothing on you.
Nothing on you, babe. Nothing on you.
Nothing on you.
Nothing on you, babe. Nothing on you. Hands down, there will never be another one. I've been around and I never seen another one. Because your style ain't really got nothing on. And you wild when you ain't got nothing on. Baby, you the whole package. Plus you pay your taxes. And you keep it real while the mothers stay plastic. You're my Wonder Woman, call me Mr. Fantastic. Stop. Now think about it.
I've been to London, I've been to Paris, even where there in Tokyo. Back home down in Georgia, to New Orleans, but you always did the show. And just like that, girl, you got me froze. Like a Nintendo 64. If you never knew, well, now you know. No. Beautiful girls all over the world. I could be chasing, but my time would be wasted. They got nothing on you.
Nothing on you, babe. Nothing on you.
Nothing on you.
Nothing on you, babe. Nothing on you.
They might say hi, and I might say hey, but you shouldn't worry about what they say, 'cause they got nothing on you.
Nothing on you, me wanna sing. Whether a bus or a plane, or a car or a train, no other girls on my brain, and you the one to blame.
Beautiful girls all over the world. I could be chasing, but my time would be wasted. They got nothing on you.
Nothing on you, babe. Nothing on you.
Nothing on you.
Nothing on you, babe. Nothing on you.
They might say hi, and I might say hey. But you shouldn't worry about what they say, 'cause they got nothing on you.
Nothing on you, babe. Nothing on you.
Nothing on you.
Nothing on you, babe. Nothing on you. Yeah. And that's just how we do it. And I'm gonna let this ride. B.O.B. and Bruno Mars.
Welcome back, guys. This is Late in the Shot Clock, and I'm your host, Justin Lopez. We are wrapping up the show, and this is the last segment of the show. This is called At the Buzzer. This is my, 5 seconds with the ball in my hand, spread the floor. I want thoughts, comments or topics that I want to talk about for this last segment, and something that's recently just happened this past Wednesday, that I definitely, want to talk about, and, it pains me to talk about it because it sucks to hear anybody passing away, but John Saunders passed away at 61 years old this past Wednesday. He was a broadcaster for ESPN, and growing up, this guy was just like always on the TV at my house. So, we talk about all the others, Stuart Scott and all those guys, but John Saunders was the first, broadcaster that, I became aware of that was African American, that caught my eye, that, that, I look back at, and, someone that I was like, oh wow, man, he's very good, and you see him everywhere. That was the most intriguing thing that I took from a guy like John Saunders. He was able to be on all platforms, all types of sports, baseball, football, basketball. In all different levels. So a guy like John Saunders, he wasn't just a broadcaster; he was the broadcaster. A lot of analysts recently, were recently talking about he was the OG of broadcasting, and you put him up there with Chris Berman and the rest of those guys. He was an OG of broadcasting, hands down, and he was someone that when I first started to do this show. A lot of people don't know this. I don't even think my family probably knows this. The first thing I did was I looked up a lot of broadcasters because I kind of wanted to get the idea of the show and building it to my own. And he was one of the first guys I looked up. I commend his journey on ESPN, and just hearing over the last few days, hearing anchors anchor people like Stephen A. Smith and Jamel Hill and Michael Scott, all those type of people, Hannah Storm, hearing them talk about a guy like John Saunders, it was something that it was devastating to hear about. And this morning I woke up Sunday morning, what I always do, I wake up and I turn on sports reporters, and he wasn't there. It was weird. It just wasn't weird seeing him there. So it was something that that's very, very disturbing to hear, that he passed away, especially as an African American. Just seeing someone in that kind of spotlight and that kind of position, that was kind of more of a solidifying thing for me to know, like, hey, you know what, he's done it. Probably in worse conditions, and he's able to become the guy that he is now. So it was someone that, that I definitely did look up to. And, a guy like that, without him, there is no Stuart Scott. There is no Stephen A. Smith. There is no Michael Smith or Jamel Hill or Hannah Storm. And the list goes on. And frankly, if you break it down all the way down here, if you break it all the way down to the, its nuts and bolts, without a guy like John Saunders, I wouldn't probably be sitting here doing this kind of show and be able to do this kind of streaming like that and be on this type of platform. And, condolences goes out to him, to his family, and all the loved ones that are, going through this tough time with John Saunders. When you lose a guy like that, you feel like, I don't know about you guys, but I felt like this when Stuart Scott passed away. When someone like that passes away, you feel like you lost someone, like personally. Like, granted, I didn't know him at all, but you're always watching them on TV and everything, and you invite them kind of in your home, so it kind of feels like you lost someone personally. And like I said, it was painful to hear about that, and something that we all need to take it for granted. We take life for granted, so I definitely want everyone to appreciate these days that we have out here, and live in the moment, because you never know when it's going to wrap up, I guess, But this show is something that, I definitely take to heart now, especially losing a guy like John Saunders. So, rest in peace, John Saunders. And that is the horn for the show, guys. I appreciate you guys all listening in. I do this show because I love the game of basketball, and it's something that it holds very near and dear to my heart. So, when I hear about, if I'm doing well in the show, I appreciate the comments. If I'm not doing well, if you guys think that, maybe I should, try something different, I definitely want to hear it, because I take the criticism very near and dear to my heart, because I want this to be the best show that I can make it be. So, sign in via Facebook, via Twitter, follow me on here. If you want to message me. But I definitely want, to make this show the best I can. So I need help from you guys. I don't move forward without the support of you guys. So if I can get, comments, via Facebook, via Twitter, that'd be really great. So for John Saunders, I just, I want to say we'll never forget you. So this is Late in the Shot Clock, and I am your host, Justin Lopez.
Take me to that old familiar place. Take me to memories we won't erase. Take me to all that we had, good and the bad. I'll never forget you. I'll never let you go. I'll never forget you. I'll always remember, you know. Yeah.
Let the record reflect the records we set. Best foot forward with every step, and let's push towards it. Never regress, and let's remember, if ever we get down, the places that we came from round, and all the good times on the bad side of town. The upside of bad, flip it upside down. Came from the bottom, but we up high now. Believe, and from this view we achieved. We look back at the rules we received, and how we broke those, dismantled and rewrote those. And the ghost still alive in the photos. Sounds of the summer, day and gold wise. Cold wind blowing through a city on fire. Moments of the past, came here to find you. Not to relive them, just to remind you.
Take me to that old familiar place. Take me to memories we won't erase. Take me to all that we had, good and the bad. I'll never forget you. I'll never let you go. I'll never forget you. I'll always remember, you know.
like tonight. We walk into the glow, right into the light. The past all around us, the time of our life. The first love kisses, the broke heart disses. This is just like a first class ticket. Back to the first written rap. The crumbled up paper and the pen with no cap. The hand-me-down clothes and the unturned hat. The hookers on the corner and the kids selling crack. The needles in the yard where we used to play catch. Stories from the projects we could never go at. A two. These are shades of my youth, trials of a child, everything truth, moments of the past, coming back to find us, not to relive them, just to remind us.
Take me to that old familiar place. Take me to memories we won't erase. Take me to all that we had, good and the bad. I'll never forget you. I'll never let you go. I'll never forget you. I'll always remember, I hope you know. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Everything cherished, remembered in my heart, so you will never perish, you will never part. I tell them all about you, drumming in the park. We put you in the ground, but I see you in the stars. Go and take a bow, a round of applause. The best that ever, always ready we are. Love always shines, that's how I find you. In case you forgot, I hope this reminds you. Now.
Take me to that old familiar place.